Hey folks, Mr. Tolly. So I kind of made this decision that I need a tool that is going to do some burnishing to help me burnish around holsters. And this is double 8 to 9 ounce, and it's kind of flat, but it's got rounded edges. And if you can kind of get an idea of what I'm looking at. But I need to do inside the belt loops too. And to that end, I have some dowel, and this is, I believe, 3/8. Yep, 3/8 dowel. And I get these dowels with, depending on where I order from, they come with the blue guns. This was from knifekits.com or holstersmith.com. Either one, I think the same company. And they include these with their blue guns to help make your sight channel. I don't use them. I just glue some leather on here. Makes a nicer sight channel, I think. It's my opinion. Either way, this is too big for a sight channel in my opinion. I did it on one holster. And it was way too big a sight channel. Way too big. Didn't like it. But regardless, it's got a very sharp edge there. It's a flat edge. So I cut one in half, and I'm going to use one for sanding and one for burnishing. But it's too rough. Way too rough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of cut a little bit of a groove into it, and I'm going to use my drill to help me do that. I don't know, I just got my garbage can here, I put a mat on it, and I'm just going to use that. I'm going to start with just a file, and hopefully I'll just be able to cut a groove in here. I want to be cutting in the right direction. This is not a double cut file, this is only cuts in one direction, so it'll only cut going if I'm pushing forward, so I got to get my direction right on my drill. Reverse it. And I don't need a huge deep groove, I just need a little bit. Those edges aren't super rounded. They're just a bit rounded. So I'm not going to try to get a real deep groove. So now I've got it about as deep as I want to go. So it's not too terribly deep, but I'm going to try to widen it a little bit. So I'm just going to put some pressure on the file towards the drill. So I'll try to see how that lines up with my holster here. Maybe just a little teeny bit wider. pretty much, that looks like it's going to fit perfect on there. And that it does pretty darn well. So next I'm going to take, this has some fairly round edges. Actually, this is a piece of coat hanger which I use when I'm doing handwork on the belt slots, and I just wrap my sandpaper around it, and it works out really well. So I'm going to try that here to clean that up just a little bit. So far that looks pretty good. I'm going to wrap it around this tool so I have a flat surface. And we'll try to kind of square away some of this other stuff. Now this is not a hardwood, this is just pine or something, but it should do okay for the time being. Kind of testing the concept, so to speak. I am so dirty. So now I'm going to go to a finer grit, a little bit of 400 to kind of So the sooner I get this down to being nice and smooth, the better off I'm going to be when it comes to burnishing. Because the smoother it is, the more efficient it'll be. I think that's pretty darn nice. Just to kind of give you an idea, it's pretty smooth. I can go farther. I might, if I got a piece of 600 here, right here, maybe we'll give her a little bit of that. Now normally you don't even sand wood this far because it just doesn't do much for it. This is one of those rare cases though. There we go. That should make us pretty decent here. Oh. I do believe. So now I've got to give these belt slots a little bit of a burnish. I'm going to reposition the camera and we'll test her out. It's going to be hard to show this all in close-up, but we're just kind of, I put some dye on there last night before I went in, so it'd get a good chance to soak into the leather. Now I'm going to put a little more in there. Give that a minute. And I just want it to soak in. It'll still be a little damp. I just want the dye to soak in a bit. And the reason for choosing this size dowel was because it fits into my belt slots. Remember when I form my holsters? I form my belt loops too, so that you can see they're kind of offset a little bit. And everything is kind of formed so that it really fits the body nice when you put it on. And with all that wet forming, in the end it's all gonna kind of take its toll on things, but I want to get a burnish on there before I form it. So that's what I need this for. And it fits right up into the corner there. Well, this is what we started with. And this is what it looks like now. Now granted, my final burnish I'm going to have to do the hard way, but to get that, I hope that shows up good. To get it looking like that, with a tool that probably literally took no more than 10 minutes to make, I think that's looking pretty darn good. Now if I take it out of the drill, I can use it by hand as well. Just to kind of, you know, do a little touching up too. The file that I used is a simple chainsaw file that I picked up at the local hardware store. And it's something that I've had around here for quite a while. There you go. I think this little tool worked out pretty darn good. And it was a lot easier to use it chucked up in a drill than it was by hand. A lot faster too. So, you know, there you go. But sometimes we just have to make a tool if we can't find one. And sometimes it's just a lot easier and cheaper to make it by yourself, make it on your own. This really didn't cost me anything. The dowel came with came with the blue gun when I bought the blue gun. So, holstersmith.com, they include the dowel with the blue gun for the sight channel. And it's way bigger than anything I would use for a sight channel. I don't use a 3/8 for a sight channel. But it works good. I do like the bigger holes, bigger slots for your belt loops. They just seem to form out a little nicer once you form it like that. It works really well with your belt. When you put your belt on, it just makes for a really nice fit. So yeah, I don't know what else to add. That's pretty much it. There's your tool tip, and I don't know if this is number 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or what it is. I think it's number 3. And that'll be it for now. Y'all stay safe and God bless. We'll catch you in the next video.